Greetings, friends. In this short little video, I want to talk a little bit about how to design interview questions. Other videos and other material will talk about the actual conducting of the interview itself, but in this little video, I want to talk just about how to design the questions that you'll be using when you interview somebody. Again, there's other materials that will be going over this. This is just some specific information that I want you to consider, especially for this assignment. First, one of the common mistakes, and we'll see this in just a second, that people make when they are designing interview questions, they ask questions that are irrelevant to answering the research question that's being posed. Great questions oftentimes, and questions worthy of consideration, but in this interview, for this purposes, you only want to ask questions that that are germane to the question that you're studying. So make sure that if you're looking for information, it can be directly related to the specific question that you're asking for this study. Make sure you don't lead the interviewee. Make sure that you allow them to provide their own answers. Don't do a lot of setting up to the question. You want them to take the question in the direction that they want to go. And avoid putting words in individuals' mouths. You want them to say the thing that that comes to their mind as they're answering or thinking about the question and then answering it. Again, just wanting to help them describe exactly what they think about a particular topic. This is one of the documents that you're going to be using, or that you probably already have read, in developing questions. And I want to draw your attention to a few of these. So in this one section right here, it talks about the kinds of questions that you should put together. So what I want you to do is to take a look at this and specifically look at this one bullet point here. What you're wanting to do is give them a chance to provide as much of the detail as they can. And so you really do want to ask the kind of questions that are general enough to provide an opportunity to elicit their response, but also specific enough to find out the kind of questions or the kind of answers that you want that will help you answer your research question. So this is a good example in this paragraph. The general question, or the too general question, is, what do you find it to be like when you go to vote? Very broad and somewhat vague, but this question improves on that. Can you tell me about the last time you voted in person in a general election, from when you got to the polling site until you left? So when you're thinking about the information that you want to get from a person, you're trying to avoid two extremes. Don't want to put words in somebody's mouth, and you don't want to prejudge your or you don't want to have evidence of bias as to what you're looking for. But you don't want to be so general that you can't, that they don't have really any specific idea what you're looking for. So one of the things that a lot of people do is, you can tell that they bias the interview. They have a particular thing that they're looking for, and they ask questions that will point somebody in that direction. And I can give you some examples of that from the previous questions that were generated in this particular activity. I don't want to give too many of the good questions. I want you to come up with those yourself. But a question like, what drew you to the teaching profession? What challenges, if any, did you face when pursuing a career in teaching? Those are good questions that are close to the topic of what you're looking at. Questions that would need some work. Who inspired you to become a school teacher? Well, the who is not important. You want to know what that person did that motivated them or inspired them to become a teacher. So who is a very simple answer. Well, it was Dr. Jones in the 5th grade or whatever. What made you become a teacher? Again, this sounds like they were forced into the profession. What drew you to the teaching profession? What inspired you to go into teaching. Um, some of the ones that are a little bit biased, but maybe not obviously biased, but are biased, describe your experience with teachers when you were a student. Um, this does tip your hand a little bit because it indicates that you're going to be looking for a connection between the teachers that they had as a student and their interest in becoming a teacher, especially since you've given them the topic of the study. So this actually evidences a bit of a bias of your own research or the answers that you're looking for. Same thing with the next question: what specific characteristics do you possess that qualify you to become a teacher? Again, a bit leading. This person might think, oh gosh, you must be looking for a specific answer to that relates to my professional qualifications for it. So again, be careful of that. I've collected a number of questions that are good questions, but not pertinent to this particular study. And again, you can see these and read them for yourselves. Again, these are all questions that would be interesting as if you're asking the question, why does somebody stay in the teaching profession, but not particularly germane for the study that we're conducting here. So again, as you're conducting this study, make sure that you are asking the kinds of questions that really do answer the question that you are looking for. Ask questions that will answer the question that you are looking for. That's at the focus of your research study.